How do you know if you're unhappy at work? How can you tell that something is not right and that it's time to either make some changes at work or move on to a new job? In my work as an international speaker, I get to meet so many people who are not happy with their jobs. And here are the top 10 symptoms of unhappiness at work that I have seen. How many of these apply to you? Number one is you procrastinate. You know that feeling where you really honestly try to get some work done, but somehow you just never really get around to it? Or you only do it at the last possible moment when the deadline is looming, and then you only do a half-baked effort. Many people view procrastination as like a personal weakness, but to me, it is one of the strongest warning signs of unhappiness at work. Sign number two that you're not happy at work is that you spend Sunday night worrying about Monday morning. Here's a comment someone wrote on my blog. I never sleep very well on Sunday night because I'm worried about going to work on Monday morning. My job is very stressful and you kind of have to gear up for Monday and getting back into that. That's not good. One of the worst things about being unhappy at work is that the unhappiness bleeds over into your free time. If you've had a lousy day at work, it's difficult to go home and have a great evening. If your week sucked at work, it's hard to have a fun, relaxed, carefree weekend. So how you feel about work in your free time is a really good indicator of whether or not you're happy at work. Sign number three is that when you're unhappy at work, you get really competitive about salary and titles. When you don't like the job itself, you often end up focusing so much more on salary and perks and bonuses and promotions. Knowing that someone in a similar position is paid more than you or is promoted when you're not can really eat at you. When we're unhappy at work, we tend to get a lot more competitive for one simple reason. When work doesn't give us happiness or fulfillment or enjoyment, we want to get something else out of it. And what else is there but, compensation and promotions and status? Number four is that you don't feel like helping your coworkers. Your colleagues may be struggling, but you don't really feel like lending a hand. Why should you? There's a very interesting psychological study that started by putting subjects in either a good mood or a bad mood. They were then asked to walk down the hall to another room where the experiment would continue. But then the real experiment took place in the hallway. The subjects passed a man holding a big box, struggling to open a door. And the question was, would the subject stop and help that person or just walk on by? And the experiment showed that when we're in a bad mood, we are much less likely to help others. Sign number five is that work days feel so long. When people hate their jobs, the days just seem to drag on forever. Have you ever come into the office and the first thing you do in the morning is, look at the clock and calculate what time you can go home? I have. It's not good. Ironically, it actually just makes the workday feel even longer. Sign number six is that you have no friends at work. Why would you have friends at work? They're all just jerks anyway. Gallup have found in their studies of workplace engagement that one of the strongest factors that predict engagement is having at least one close friend at work. When people are unhappy at work, they often pull back and stop investing in creating good workplace relationships, which ironically tends to make us even less happy at work. Number seven is that you just don't care about anything. Things can go well or they can go badly for your workplace. Either way, you don't really give a damn. When you're unhappy at work, you care mostly about yourself and not so much about the workplace, the work, your coworkers, or anything else really. Sign number eight is that small things bug you when you're not happy at work. Small annoyances bug you out of all proportion, like someone taking up too much space in the parking lot, someone taking the last coffee without brewing a new pot, or someone talking too loudly in the next cubicle. When you're unhappy at work, you have much thinner skin and a shorter fuse, and it takes a lot less to annoy you. Sign number nine that you're unhappy at work is that you become suspicious of other people's motives. No matter what people do, your first thought is, what are they up to? Good or bad, big or small, all decisions and actions made by your coworkers and managers are seen in this light. And studies have confirmed that we are more suspicious of other people when we're not happy. The 10th and final thing, and probably the most important that you need to look out for, is physical symptoms. When people are unhappy at work, they're much more likely to suffer from insomnia, headaches, low energy, muscle tension, and or other physical symptoms. Studies show that when you're unhappy at work, you're much more prone to experiencing these physical stress symptoms. But what do you think? How many of these apply to you in your current job? And did I leave out any important symptoms of workplace unhappiness? Please write a comment. I'd really like to know your take.